I've been doing this channel for 2 years now, and I have yet to review a game for the Sega Genesis. Looking at Sonic's look and feel got me in the mood for some Sonic. With no better place to start, today we're taking a look at Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis. Sonic the Hedgehog is an action platformer with an emphasis on speed. Well, sometimes. There are a total of 7 zones. The first 6 zones all have 3 acts. Now this is actually a common point of criticism. A lot of people feel that 3 acts is a little bit much. While I do agree, I'm also not as bothered by this. Yeah, 3 acts of Marble and Labyrinth Zone is a bit draining, but 3 acts of Green Hill, Spring Yard, and Starlight Zone is fine by me. Sonic the Hedgehog has a mixture of speed and momentum, as well as slow and deliberate platforming. While I do think all these levels are pretty decent, their consistency is all over the map. For example, Green Hill Zone is large with lots of open runways for you to gain speed. You're often rewarded for this, and it's fun doing it, but you can choose to go slow and explore. While there's only one goal at the end of each Green Hill act, you can choose the route to get there. You can stay low or travel up top. What's made clear in Green Hill Zone is that you can choose how to play it. You're rewarded for going fast, but you're also rewarded for taking it slow. This level is about how you want to play, and either way it's fun. After defeating Robotnik for the first time, you're thrown into Marble Zone, and this is where you'll notice the consistency change. Not only is there a spike in difficulty, Marble Zone is linear, meaning that you don't have a choice on how you tackle the stage. You just have to take it slow and follow the underground path, although in Act 3, there's one place where the path branches off, so at least there's that. But not only do you have to traverse this level slowly, there are often obstacles that momentarily halt your progression. Honestly, I don't hate Marble Zone at all, but I can see why many gamers don't love it. It probably shouldn't have been the second level of the game. When you spring into Spring Yard Zone, you'll notice that it's not as confining as Marble Zone. Again, you get to somewhat choose how you play. There are a few different paths you can take, and it seems that the high road is for going faster, while the low road is much slower, and this seems to be the case for most levels in the game, at least the levels with multiple routes. But like Marble Zone, there are some areas where your progression comes to a halt. These blocks, for instance. These big bulky blocks are probably the only thing I dislike about Spring Yard Zone. In Act 2, there are actually 2 different goals. I didn't discover this until somewhat recently, but if you jump right here, you can take the upper path to a different exit. Sadly, it doesn't amount to anything substantial, just a few extra rings, I guess. I kinda wish that they had elaborated on this potential feature. It really could have increased replay value. Labyrinth Zone is another common point of contention with gamers. Conceptually, I like it, deep underground tunnels and stuff, but it's just not that fun. I don't typically enjoy water levels, and I don't think I'm alone with this opinion. Labyrinth Zone is again quite linear, with underwater sections, platforming, and even some puzzle elements thrown in. An annoying yet necessary mechanic while underwater is having to track down bubbles to regain oxygen. And on top of that, you move much slower and have to worry about enemies, spike traps, and fireballs. I will point out how unique the Robotnik Fight is, although it's not so much a fight as it is a chase. You need to move vertically up a narrow passageway. The water is rising, and there are quite a few hazards to piss you off. It's not an easy encounter by any means, but it is easy, however, to fuck up badly. Like this. This zone is probably the hardest in the game, and it's also probably the least fun. Hard and not fun don't make a good combination. I'll show you a trick to make Labyrinth Zone slightly less painful next time you play. In Act 1, close to the beginning, you'll jump into some water. At the very bottom, there's a switch. When you press it, a door will open. But did you know that it also summons a platform? Most people probably never figured this out because you otherwise would have no reason to go back up to the top. Be careful though, it's kinda tricky. You have to use this lift to help you back up, and it's easy to take damage and fall off. Thankfully, this platform takes you across the water and practically to the end of the act. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Starlight Zone is a big urban environment which takes place at night. Yes, there are obstacles, but there are still many opportunities to go fast. This level is pretty fun and is not too hard. Kinda feels like a reward for putting up with Labyrinth Zone. Some of the design here, though, I wonder what they were thinking. Like, what up with this? Why are these here? It's just like they had extra room on the cart and decided to place some yellow springs here for no reason. Anyway, we have multiple goals at the end of the acts here, but like Spring Yard Zone, it doesn't make much of a difference which one you take. Scrap Rainzone is the industrial factory zone. These levels are big and are packed full of enemies and hazards. While it's pretty tough, I'd say Labyrinth Zone is still harder. A unique feature with Scrap Rainzone is that Act 3 is vastly different from the first two acts. Sadly, it just resembles Labyrinth Zone. Ugh, really? Of course they had to take inspiration from the worst zone in the game. Thankfully, there's a shortcut here to make it to the end of the act pretty quickly. It's kind of funny, Labyrinth Zone Act 1 had a skip, and same with Scrap Rainzone Act 3, which looks like Labyrinth Zone. It's kind of like the developers hated Labyrinth Zone 2. Anyway, after Scrap Rainzone, you'll end the game in Final Zone, which also happens to be the final zone. Creative. It's just a Robotnik Fight and, nothing special here. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the special stages. If you end Acts 1 and 2 of any zone with at least 50 rings, a large ring will be waiting for you at the goal. If you're able to jump into the ring, you're taken to the bonus stage. Here you just have to collect the Chaos Emerald, although locating it is easier said than done. The stage is constantly rotating, and if you touch one of these red ball things here, the bonus is over. These bonus stages are a sort of side quest to collect the 6 Chaos Emeralds. I admit though, I actually really enjoy these bonus stages. In later Sonic games, the Chaos Emeralds are used to unlock Super Sonic. Sadly, in Sonic 1, there is no Super Sonic, and the Chaos Emeralds do nothing at all, except give a slightly different ending. Kind of a bummer. Moving on to the enemies, I find them to be well designed. Not all of them can just be mindlessly jumped on. Sometimes you have to hit them at a certain angle. Although it can be annoying, it adds a fair difficulty and even a little strategy. Not that you need me to point this out, but Sonic 1 looks and sounds amazing. Sonic and his enemies look great, as well as the set pieces and backgrounds. I particularly love the look of Springyard Zone. The music of Sonic 1 is of course unforgettable. I often hum these tunes while I'm going about my day. I think my favorite theme is also Springyard Zone. So that's Sonic 1, the game that started it all. The music and the graphics are great. The levels are kind of all over the place, but I do still like them, even Marble and Labyrinth Zone. Even with these flaws, I give Sonic the Hedgehog an 8 out of 10. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I want you to tell me down in the comments below which stage is your favorite and why. For me, I think Green Hill Zone is probably technically the best stage, but I just love Springyard Zone. I don't know what it is. I love the look. I love the music. I don't know. I just love Springyard Zone. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.